Hello everyone, welcome to join our first tutorial for the course's Introduction to Deep Learning. So our team consists of Professor Daniel, 3TAs, and also several tutors who will going to answer all your questions you have about the courses, for example, the homework and also about the examinations. So today we're going to first mention about the organization of the courses, like the lecture tutorial schedule. We'll mention about the examination. We will also introduce you the platform we are going to use to run the courses. The second part, we will mention about the exercise. So we will release exercise 1 at the end of this tutorial, which mainly about guiding you how to set up your Python environment and also make sure that you can use our homework submission system. So I'm sure that you already know that the lecture will be held in person by Professor Daniel on every Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. But the lecture will be also recorded via Zoom online, Zoom Live, so you can go back to the lecture on this website. But the exercise class will not be held in person, so the recording, the slide, and the homework will be released on every Thursday, 10 a.m. Please just pay attention that usually the homework due date will be on every Wednesday, 15:59. Okay, so here would be the tentative schedule for the lecture. So which is basically divided into 3 parts. So first, we will try to give you an introduction about what is deep learning, and we will teach you how can you build your own neural network and some very basic technical terms, for example, backpropagations. And then the third part, we will try to use what you have learned to try to apply to some specific task. In this course, it will be usually on images. So here would be some exam FAQ. So this course is not the first time to be held, but it changed to a new professor. So it's the different, right? No, basically, because this courses is mainly focused on basic stuff of deep learning. So we will just use the old material, except there will be some minor change because times go on, there are always some new stuff come out. Yeah, but other than that, it's mostly the same. For the day of the examination, so we still have not yet decided. Okay, so do we get access to previous exam? So yes, including the mock exam, so we will release everything around week 10. And do we have to cope during the exam? No, usually there will be just short questions, mainly about the concept of deep learning. So there will be also some multiple choice, so no coding during the examinations. And about the bonus system, so the bonus you have already get can be used again until you pass the exam. So which means that even though you do not pass your exam, but you get the bonus already, so you can leave your bonus to the next exam or even next exam, hopefully not. Is there a script for studying exam? I guess so. So the tutors will prepare some notes, which kind of mixing everything important together, and I think they will release it on Piazza. So just stay tuned on Piazza. So about assessing our resources. So there's mainly two ways to get our resources. First is on the website, which is to everyone. Everyone can access it, and the website will contain all the videos, all the homework, and the solutions. Usually, this is already enough for people who are not LMU student or TUM student to catch up the courses. But for TUM and LM student, we have another platform. We call it Piazza. You basically have everything there. For example, TA's office hour, something about examinations, And you can also open polls for discussing something you are interested in, or or if you have questions about homework, then you can also ask there. Not just TA and tutor can answer you, but other student can also join the discussion and answer other student questions. If I remember correctly, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday also office hour from tutor you can join. So you basically do it while online, and you can get the Zoom link on Piazza. You can ask anything related to the courses. And about asking questions, so again, we will use Piazza for all communications. So you can ask question there. There are basically different type of questions, but some questions is common and also related to other students. So if this is general questions, then you can just set it to post to entire classes. But if your questions is quite individual, like you have some problem assessing some homework or things, then you can just post it as individual questions. But if you really cannot use Piazza and then you still have some question for us, then just use the email. You can always post any questions related to the courses on Piazza. According to our own experience, people who are really active on Piazza always had higher chance survive the examinations. If you ask a question there and then tutor or other student have resolved your question, just click resolve. Otherwise, we don't know if the question is already being solved or not. Okay, if you are a student from LMU or you are postdoc PhD student from LMU or TUM, but you cannot use TUM online to get access to Piazza, then you can just apply for an access to Piazza via this Google form. For non-TUMs, LMU student or staff, then you can still participate in the courses. You will still able to access all the materials. If you do your exercise in the Jupyter notebook, you can still check if your answer is correct or not. What you can't do is you cannot access our submission system, so you cannot submit your homework, of course. You cannot log into Piazza for discussions, and you cannot go to the tutor office hour for some other questions, and you cannot participate in the examinations. Okay, this session will be about exercise and about a bonus system. In this time, everything is about AI. Maybe you think that AI is, or deep learning is very straightforward. Just if your problem is complex, just make a complex network and do the training, and then it will work. But actually, it's not. Using deep learning is it really depends on your own experience. So if you have more experience, you have higher chance, or you will be much faster to find a correct network to solve your problem. So it's not that straightforward. For the goal of the exercise classes, or for the goal of the exercise, we want you to have some experience, hand-on experience about deep learning. So hope that at the end of the courses, you can able to do your own research or doing your own project, or at least you have some, if you encounter a questions, you at least have some idea what is going on. During the exercise, we mainly focus on re-implementations, which means that we will start from very basic. So and then we try not to use some deep learning package at the very beginning, but starting from the basic mathematics to build your own deep network first. And then later we will of course try to introduce you some common library, like for example, PyTorch. And later we will want you to use what you have learned during the courses and apply the deep network to some specific tasks. Yeah, so okay, so about the tutorial sessions and the exercise, our tutorial sessions will be always video recording with slide, and this will post to the webpage and Piazza, and it won't be as long as the lecture, usually much shorter, but be careful that the content of the tutorial session and the content of the exercise will be part of the examinations. So yeah, just be careful. Yeah, the exercise is mainly working on a Jupyter notebook, which you will know more about later. But just be careful that don't do it until the last moment, because usually, even though the task is very simple, if you encounter a bug or two, then it definitely will spend you a lot of time to debug it. So just try to do it as soon as possible. The language of these exercise classes will be mainly using Python because this is the most used language in deep learning society. During the course, usually CPU is enough for the first 5 exercises, and later you will better have your own GPU to complete the exercise. Because yeah, if you don't have a GPU, I think your network can still be trained on CPU, but it just take much longer time. So if you really don't have your GPU and you don't want to train a network, for example, if you have GPU, you may just need to train a program for like 1 minute. But if you don't have a GPU and train on CPU, it may take you 4 hours or maybe a day. Yeah, so if you really don't have a GPU, you can try to use Google Colab. So Google Colab can read the Jupyter Notebook directly, and you can just do everything on Google Colab. It's also work. Okay. Let me just give you a scoop about our exercise content. So the first 2 exercises, in total we will have 12 exercises. The first 2 will just give you introductions. So it's nothing related to deep learning, as you can see here. So the exercise 2 mainly mention about the mathematics you are going to use in deep learning, basically differentiation, because you need to do gradient backpropagation. So this is the reason why you need to know how to do differentiation. So the second part of the exercise would be related to NumPy. So again, this is a math library in Python. Basically, what we are doing here is we want you to implement yourself a tiny deep network, starting from a tiny neural and make it into a bigger network, something like that. So we try not to use PyTorch and GPU at this stage, just to make sure that how deep learning is really working from a very simple example. The third part would be try to use deep learning package. So instead of using your own deep network package, we will use PyTorch because this is a much complex package that it contains a lot of useful function and you don't need to implement yourself. And it's also helps you to read the data set, helps you to do the evaluations, things like that. So it just makes your coding much faster and much more efficient. And the fourth part would be about the applications. So we want you to apply what you have learned during the courses on some specific tasks. Okay, so here is the submissions and the bonus. So we have 12 exercises, but only 10 of them are submissions, which mean that submissions mean that you need, if you want to have your bonus, you need to finish and submit. So there are 10 submissions. If you want to get the bonus, which we add extra 0.3 grade on your final exam grade, you need to finish at least 9 out of 10 submissions. Or you can ignore this new exercise stuff here. I think it's just typo here. Okay. So here, the color in gray is not one of the submissions. So yeah, the exercise in black color are the submissions. So you need to finish at least 9 out of 10 submissions in order to get the bonus. When you have submitted your homework to the submission system, there will be a leaderboard. in the exercise, you are required to train a network, and you may also require to tune the hyperparameter to have a better result or to have a better accuracy. And this kind of accuracy or score will be also leads into the leaderboard, so you can kind of compare to your fellow student. But no worry, there will be a threshold. So if your training score is larger than certain threshold, then we will consider it as valid submissions. It won't have even extra bonus if you become the highest training score. So no worries. Okay, I think that's it for the organization of the courses. If you still have any other problem about the organizations, about the homework, or about the examination, just try to ask it on Piazza and our tutor will answer you. Okay, exercise 1. This is nothing related to deep learning in this exercise. We basically want you to set up your own Python environment. We want you to familiarize with Jupyter Notebook. We want you to familiarize with the submission system to make sure that your homework can be submitted successfully. And yeah, this is not hard. Exercise is just very short, but it's very technical. Just to remember, the homework will be released always on the website and the Piazza. And then the deadline will be always on next Wednesday, 15:59. This homework exercise 1 will be one of the submissions, so it's count for the bonus. Okay, here will be some instructions about your first exercise. So first of all, you will need to download the zip file, and then you will extract the zip file and follow the instruction in the README file. In the README file, they will tell you to install an Anaconda and to create your new Python environment. Why we need that is because usually you will have several projects at the same time, and this several project may require different kind of package with different kind of version, but you don't want to mix everything together, right? So if you want to make your environment clear, usually for every project you will create a specific Python environment with specific name you can give. So yeah, this is the reason why we need to teach you or to guide you how to set up a new Python environment. And then yeah, just set up your repository with using the test file called requirement test file. And then you will also try to play around with Jupyter Notebook. Try to run all the cells from the top to bottom to make sure that all the code or all the package can run successfully. This is to make sure that you have installed all the necessary packages. If you really want to use external code, or if you want to make your own function, just to make sure that it is still in the code structure. Otherwise, if you submit your homework to the submission system and we cannot run your external code, then it will be cannot pass the test. So again, starting from the sixth exercise, you will need GPU or your training will be super slow. So Google Colab will be one option you can do if you really don't have a GPU and you want to train your network faster. But just to be careful, you may want to buy the license for Google Colab, or you can also use it freely, but you just don't need GPU for the first 5 exercises. So if you really want to subscribe Google Colab for a higher priority using the GPU, then you don't need it for the first 5 exercises. So about the exercise submissions. So again, we will have our own submission system. So once you submit your homework, we will do an evaluation on your coding, and then we will have a score. So when you try to submit your homework, just sign up there and with your own matriculation number, and then you will get an ID and password. For example, for this homework, you will just upload your modified zip file, and then we will do the evaluation once you finish uploading it. Okay, here are some FAQ we always received. So the first one is, I don't want to code in notebook. Can I use my favorite IDE? Yes, of course. Can we change the whole code structure? But this is of course no, because when we try to do our evaluation on the server, we really need to stick into the skeleton, the code skeleton. How do you know that you pass the submission system? So once you submit your homework and your score is higher than the threshold, then you will receive an email to confirm you that you have passed the submissions. But of course, you can always submit another submission for the same homework without any limitations. We will just take the best performance of your models into account. So yeah, you can submit infinite time before the deadline, of course. So where can you get assistance? For TOOM and LMU student, you can ask on Piazza and our tutor will answer your questions. But usually your question is not unique. Some other people may also encounter. So maybe some other student has already asked the same question. Just try to check if the same questions has already been asked online. You can also have some discussion or ask question during the office hour of our tutor, or maybe you can ask other students. The upcoming lecture will be lecture 2 about machine learning basis. So still giving you introductions about what is deep learning and what is machine learning and what is the difference between them before we really go deeper important, because on the next tutorial, I guess there will be, you maybe need to implement yourself the backpropagation on exercise 2 or maybe 3. This is the reason why we need to give you a math recap to make sure that you can do the differentiation properly. No worry, because this will be just a very simple differentiations. Okay, I think that is it for today's tutorial. If you still have any other questions about no matter the organizations, no matter about the homework examinations or about the exercise 1, or if you have problem about using our submission system, or you are having problem about the Piazza account, just let us know on Piazza or by our email address. Thank you so much for joining us today and see you next week. Bye bye.